Hello and welcome back to Java. Today we'll be talking about strings, methods of the string class, comparing strings, and as well as some examples. The string class is used to declare string variables, which contains numerous methods for determining the length of the string, converting a string to a lowercase or uppercase characters, extracting substrings, and for comparing strings. A string is immutable, which means it cannot be changed from its original value. However, a string object can be assigned a new string in memory. The string class is in the java.lang package for storing and manipulating strings. The default value for strings is set to null, which means nothing. Methods of the string class. To start off, we have length, which returns an integer corresponding to the number of characters in the string. We have isEmpty, which returns true if the string length is 0, but returns false otherwise. We have two substrings, substring intStart, intEnd, which returns a substring of the string, which starts at start position and ends one character before the end position, and also substring intStart, which returns a substring of the string, which starts at start position and extends to the end of the string. We have two lowercase, which returns a copy of the string with all lowercase letters, as well as two uppercase, which returns a copy of the string with all uppercase letters. We have trim, which returns a copy of the string with all leading and trailing spaces removed. We have replace first, string str, string str2, which returns a string with the first occurrence of str replaced by str2. And we have replace all, string str, string str2, which returns a string with all occurrences of str placed by str2. Okay, so now I'm going to explain into further depth of the methods of the string class. And to start off, we'll be doing length. And I'm just like to add a comment there to show what we're doing. So we can start off by adding a string, which is just string, and whatever you want it to be called. I'm going to name it sen, just short for sentence. I'm just going to put hello. So there we go, semicolon to close it off, of course. And since we're doing length, we'll want a number. So we'll do int str length, which is just going to be the string length, equals sen dot length. And that's it. It's that easy. And we could just put a system.out.println, and we could put str length in there. And since hello is 5 letters, it will give to us 5. And that is how you get the length. Next, we'll be doing isEmpty. And I'm putting this all in the same as a thing here, so you could put them on different ones if you'd like. So I could do isEmpty, just like that, and make two strings. So string str1, I guess, and make this equal to hello as well. And string str2, which is equal to nothing, because we want one with writing in it and one without, so it could give us a true or false. And next we could do system.out.println, and in here we could do str1.isEmpty, and also system.out.println str2 is empty, same thing. And this should give us false and true, because we're asking, is this empty? And it will say true because it is empty, but false for this one because there's writing in it. So as you can see, we have false and true. It's that easy. Next, we'll do substring. This one's more complicated than these ones, but it's still pretty easy. So substring, and there's two substrings, and we'll start with this one. So I'll do string str3, and we can just name this Java tutorial, I suppose. And we could just do system.out.println again, and str3.substring, and we could put in two integers in here. And I'm just going to put 2 and 8. So if we count 0, 1, 2, it wait, let's just run this first. So it starts right here, right before the V, and it ends right before the R. So it's a little more complicated to understand that than the earlier ones, but still pretty easy. And next substring is substring int start. And same thing here, system or string str4 equals Java tutorial again. And system.out.println str4 dot substring, and in here we could put 5, and close this off here. So if we run this, it'll give us ututorial, or utorial I mean, because it ends right here, or starts right here I mean, and it inputs that, or outputs that I mean. Okay, next we have 2 lowercase, and this one is really easy. That, and just string up lower, I guess, and we could just name this to a whole bunch of random capitalizations, and just, yeah. And to do this, all you have to do is lower equals lower dot 2 lowercase, and just a system.out.println, and just put lower in there, and as you can see, it will display them in all lowercase. And we could do this same thing. We could copy that and paste it, and we could do 2 uppercase. It's the same thing. We could rename this to higher, and put higher in here, and right here. And if we run this, it will give them, oh wait, I should probably change this first to uppercase. And as you can see, it displays them in all uppercase. So really easy to do that. And next we have trim. This is also a really easy one. Like they all are really. So trim, it gets rid of all of the before and after spaces. So if we have string, we can name it space, equals like, we should put a bunch of spaces here, like everywhere. And just do space equals space dot trim. And of course put it in the system.out.println and put space. Oops. And it will just give hello. And we could test that by if we comment this, and if we run that, it will put the spaces here. Without these, it doesn't have the spaces there. So next, we have replace first. Replaced first, and of course it has all the nice things in it, like string str2, and this one we could write string sen, which is just short for sentence, equals we could put you are a really good friend. Close that off, and could write string replace equals send1 dot replace first, and in here we could write really and very. So it replaces this first really, and instead of having really, it replaces it with very. So if we write system.out.println again, we could write replace, and it should say you were a very good friend. Yeah. And the last one is replace all. So it's pretty much the same thing as replace first, except it replaces every one that you want to replace. Oops. That's fine. So we could do string sentence2 equals you are a really good friend and a really good cook, I guess. We could put that. So, go to string replace 2 equals send 2 dot replace all. Oops, all. I keep doing that. And we could put really and very. So it's pretty much just the exact same thing, except it replaces all, and we could do replace 2. And this should say you are a very good friend and a very good cook. You're a very good friend and a very good cook. Comparing strings. Strings are not compared like integers, say equals equals, greater than, etc. are not used to compare strings. We use methods from the string class. To start off with, we have equals string str, which returns true when the string is the same as str, but returns false otherwise. We have equals ignore case string str. It's the same as equals, except that uppercase and lowercase differences between the strings are ignored. We have compared to string str, which returns 0 when str is the same as the string. A negative integer is returned when str comes alphabetically after the string, and a positive integer is returned when str comes alphabetically before the string. Note that uppercase and lowercase letters are considered different. We have compared to ignore case string str, same as compared to, except the uppercase and lowercase differences between the strings are ignored. We have index of string str, which returns the integer corresponding to the location of the first occurrence of str in the strings. Otherwise, -1 is returned. It starts with string str, which returns true when the string begins with str, returns false otherwise. And we have ends with string str, which returns true when the string ends with str, and returns false otherwise. Okay, so now I'll be showing you some examples for comparing strings. And as you can see, I pre-typed the comments so you didn't have to see me type those. And I meant to put an enter here. So we can start with string str1 equals, and we can just put hello. And we could duplicate this 3 more times. So 1, 2, 3, and we can separate these because they'll be used differently. And rename them. And we want this one to be all lowercase, and this one to have a capital in it. And these two could stay the same. So what we could do is create a boolean, which is a true or false. So we could write boolean is equals to str1 dot equals str2. And now we could create another boolean called boolean is equal to equals str3 dot equals str4, which automatically put that in for me. And now the system dot out, so we could system out dot print line, and in here we could write is equal, and we'll duplicate that and just put this here. So this should give us let's see here, a true and a false, because str1 and str2 both say hello the exact same. And the reason this is false is because capitalization matters. It doesn't ignore the capitalization. So str3 is different than str4 because of this capital E. As you can see, if we get rid of it, they're the same, and it puts true for both, but we want to keep that. So now to the next one, and I want to keep these separated, so I'm just going to write system.out.println and just put quotations in there, so it puts a space so we can keep them more separated. And in here, we're going to write string s1 equals hello in all capital letters, and duplicate that and make this in all lowercase letters, oops, not helco, and name that s2. And now we could write system.out.println and just do s1 dot equals ignore case, and then in that s2. And that should give us true, because it ignores the capitalization. And again, I want to write system.out.print line quotations, so it keeps them separated, just like this right here. Compare to. For this, we could write string sen, short for sentence again, equals. We could just write string compare. Compare to example. Right. String sentence2 equals compare to method example, and I meant to capitalize this, and also string send3 equals string compare to example, again just like the first one. And these, they could be anything you want them to say, but these should be the same so you could compare them. And now we want variables for integers, and we could just write int var1 equals send.compare to, and in that send2, and also int var2 equals send.compare to send3, because they're the same and there'll be no differences between them. And if we write these out, system.out.print line var1, we could duplicate that and put var2, it should give us -16 and 0. And again, we could put a system.out.print line quotations. And now compared to ignore case is pretty much the exact same, but we'll write string my string 1 equals hello in all capital letters, duplicate that and put this in all lowercase and name this to str2. And again, system.out.print line, and in here we could write my str1 dot compare to ignore case, and here my str2. Close that off, and it should give us 0 because they're the same and it just completely ignores the capitalization. Next we have index of. So for this we could write string, we could name it index equals to, we could put hey, you are pretty cool. And under that we could write system.out.print line and index.index of, and we could just put you in quotations. And if we run this, it should give us 4, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah. Next we have starts with, so we could just do string name equals, we could just put Java tutorial in this, and under that we could put system.out.print line, and I forgot to put a separation thing here, quotations, boom, there we go. Continue with this, do that, and we can do name.starts with, and in here we could put Java in quotations, oops, and this should give us true because it starts with Java. And we could write another one of these, and we could put like we could put tu because it still starts with Java tu, and we can make this false by, say if we start it with hello, it's gonna put false because first of all hello is not even in this at all, and even if we put something in it like tutorial, it's still gonna give us false. So if we run this, it will give us true, true, and false. And another, oops, system.out. And now we're on to our last one. And this is pretty much the exact same as the starts with. I'm gonna just copy this. We don't need that last system.out. We copy this and just name this name 1. We can have this all the same. We just want to change this to ends with. And instead of Java, we could put like, because it still ends with like Oriole or eel. But if we put Java, this should give us a true, true, and a false. True, true, false.